The major season is open, but we are back. Here we go. Welcome back to the Swoosh Life Podcast, episode 94. We are back after a small summer break hiatus, as we always tend to fall apart here. But we're back, and we're not falling apart this year because we came back. And so we are here, and it's good to see your boys' faces. I have missed y'all. Keith, how are we doing?
Doing good, guys. It's good to see you. I know we talk every day, though, still, but it feels so good to be back. For our fans out there, for everybody that loves and enjoys this stuff, we know the summer flies by. I can't believe it's August. All 4 majors are over. Gumby, I was going to say, is the PGA Championship coming up? Oh, it's in May. That's right. Like, come on, let's get the ball rolling here and everything. Like, let's get a major back in August so the golf season extends longer. We know we have the President's Cup in September and stuff, but I don't know. Summer flew by. I've been back and forth to New York and Connecticut all over the place and stuff. So, Matt, how you been?
You know, it would be awesome if there was like some kind of like team golf league that could take over now that the majors is done and like, you know, until football season, like some kind of like international team type thing, not necessarily by country, but like, you know, just make some like, 2-color, really simple logos, throw something together. You know what I mean? It's, this is probably going to be, this is one of the topics I know, but it's dog days of summer, but not really, because we all enjoy the summer. We love the summer here in the Midwest. It's just full of mosquitoes and super humid right now. And I've become a house cat. I cannot live outside right now. I used to thrive in this heat, And now I'm just like, I don't know. I'm outside enough for work. So that's how my summer's been going. How about you, Gumby?
Yeah, I am. I'm doing well. I'm playing some golf this year, and I've been rejuvenated by my golf game this year. We all know the struggles I had last year, losing it and being frustrated. But this year, a couple back-to-back 79s and 82 the other day. So we're right in the mix. I'm not sure 75 is going to happen, or break 75 as I really wanted to. Kind of putting that into perspective, that's really hard. That's no mistakes, So, but I'm excited. I get to see Keith on Sunday, as we were playing Turning Stone Sunday morning, bright and early. So stay tuned for the content coming from that, because that's going to be a fun one. We're playing the harder course, which I haven't touched in like 5 years. So ready to get my butt beat in, but the game is trending up. So I'm excited, and just overall really happy with everything. We were talking pre-show. I have a couple charity tournaments I'll shout out at the end, the one, but looking forward to it, and looking forward to kind of talking about what we've seen over the past couple months too, because we've been away since about the PGA, and I don't even think we covered you guys going down to the Nike house at the PGA in the Hamptons, because we recorded pre-doing that, I'm pretty sure. So that was a cool experience that you guys got. And again, check me if I'm wrong. We haven't been here for a while. So, but then
we're checking on you, Gumby. We're checking.
But then we
can't remember.
Fact check me, please. But then we had the British Open as well. The Open.
He is correct. June 17th. You're right.
Yeah. So we had the Open over at Royal Birkdale. And so anyone else just not know who won the majors this year? Because that's where I'm at right now. I know Rory won, and I don't really remember anyone else this year. And that's probably on me more than anything, but it does feel like a little bit of a letdown year this year, with the majors. I believe Aaron Rai won, and
Buddy William Clark won, William Clark.
Wyndham won.
Yeah.
And
Wyndham.
Who won the Open? The most recent one. I mean, this is where like I feel like just golf is kind of in this state of affairs lately too. Is that we don't have this superstar kind of person that can carry along, and we're not seeing the top names that we're used to win, right? We're seeing a lot of splintered winning, and so it just is what it is. I think that top like echelon of who we think should be the top players aren't necessarily the top players right now. So, but neither here nor there. Where do we want to start? We want to start with a playoff push. We want to start with someone who we think should be up in the top and isn't, and has
I don't
been
know.
very critical of himself.
I think we could explore that a little bit.
Yeah.
Before we get to Brooks, I would like Brooks to be the next topic, but I think we should explore that because I know I'm always the one like, get to the next topic, but it is something to be said. Like, I always feel like the people that win the majors are the Mount Rushmore of the PGA season. Like, those four faces make the PGA season, or I should say the golf season, better. And you're right. It's a very lackluster. Aaron Rye's a cool guy with the 2 gloves and stuff like that. I like him. You know, it's kind of cool to see him. And if he's going to win the PGA, right? But then like US Open, Wyndham, former Nike guy, we kind of liked it, but Scotty was kind of in the hunt. It's still not the same as if Scotty had won. Obviously, we are biased, but also he's the number 1 player in the world. So I think that's what people are looking for. I think people are also looking for, like with, you know, Scotty being number 1 and Rory being number 2, them facing off against each other more often. And you're not really getting that. They're not getting paired up. One major Scotty's hot, the other major Rory's hot. You know what I mean? Like, they're never near or around each other. I mean, Scotty made a little bit of a push on Masters Sunday, which would have been
and he did at the Open as well. I think he finished second at the Open to Ryan Fox. Sorry, Ryan Fox. But again, like,
that's right.
And you know what though? I feel like we've had these years over the past, I would say 5 to 6, where we've had this really like no name year, and then we get a stud year. Like, we had the year where it was
Scotty twice,
Rory, Scotty, and then JJ Spawn, right, was in that. Like,
yep,
so it's one of those things where you're like, that's a stud year versus then like this year where it feels like a slight dud year, you know? Like, I don't know. You know, it's just kind of but this was what happened like a couple of US Open when Wyndham won his first US Open, right? Like, there was a couple of no names that won that year too, and you're just like, and I say no names in the sense of like who you expect to be in that echelon, not like people. They're still top 100 people. They're still top 125. They're very good golfers. They're very good people. They just are not of what you expect to be in that grouping of challenging year after year, tournament after tournament. So just want to clarify. I'm not trying to downplay your success.
I totally get what you're saying. Like, there's names that have cachet. You know, there's names that have cachet. Like, if we were just going to go, like, let's just say non-Nike guys, right? Like a Justin Rose would have some sauce on it. You know what I mean? Like, somebody like that. A Colin Morikawa might have some sauce on it. But, you know, for the most part, and then look at Nike guys, and this is going to be probably our transition to Brooks. You know, it's not as exciting as if a Tony Finau won a major, as if a Brooks Koepka won a major. If one of those guys wins a major, and obviously, you know, I'm just saying, and I'm going to group them along with Justin Rose and a couple other guys that are not Nike. Yeah, it's, you know, Aaron Wright, good journeyman, good, you know, good career, awesome career, but doesn't get the juices for it, right? Like, you know what I mean? So it's just one of those years. And I think the other thing too is just like, man, what, like being in the middle of the summer and being over, like, people are just busy with summer. And I just noticed this in general with like Instagram, my other hobbies. Everybody takes a break right now. Everybody's traveling with family. They're having cookouts. They're enjoying the weather. It's hard, you know, it's hard. It's almost like, you know, maybe move some of this stuff back to the fall, but, you know, I don't know. And you talked a little bit about your game, Gumby, and I can't relate more to a player right now than Brooks Koepka based on what he said.
Yeah. Brooks is one of those, one of those places where I think we've all been as golfers before. And he's just, this is what we've seen from Brooks over the past, you know, couple years. And I think, you know, playing, outside of the PGA Tour for a long time, also, changes some things with Lib and whatnot, but his quote was, "It's pretty pathetic that I can't get through." And that's where we're kind of going to talk about, because in referencing his T67 finish at the Wyndham Championship, he did not make the top 70 to move on to the playoffs. And so he said that, like, he just thinks it's pretty pathetic that he
how disappointed are you?
Didn't have a chance to do that, and that he's not playing very good golf at this time. So it felt very pathetic. What are your guys' thoughts on that with Brooks, his return to the PGA Tour, and how he's kind of, what do you think he's going to do to like remedy this, challenge himself, and get back to where he held himself to that level? Keith?
I think with Brooks, I'm glad he's back on the PGA Tour. I think that's where he wanted to belong and stuff. He's a 4-time major winner. And it's just, and when did he win Gumby in 23 at Oak Hill?
Yeah.
Was that 23
Yeah.
when you guys went? Yeah.
Yep.
But just like for him to get into the playoffs, he had to be a huge playoff push. He had to come in the top 5 or ties to get into the top 70. So it was it kind of shows you where he's been all throughout this year. He played in a good amount of tournaments. I want to say double-digit tournaments, including majors, but also regular PGA Tour events as well.
Yeah, he did have a couple of like contingencies around him on like he couldn't play in everything that he wanted to. Like he had to get some exemptions, I think, on a couple of them due to like the comeback rule. But he did play in a bunch. And I think like I don't think he had a top 10. He might have had a top 10. I'm not sure. I thought they won tournament. He might have. I think the only person not to make one top 10 this year and make the playoffs was Jordan Spieth, which checks out for Jordan Spieth, so, but, I think it's,
I thought Koepka was going to have some power there with the mustache coming out. Matt, I don't know if you guys talked before this past round at the Wyndham, but like, I couldn't believe it. When I saw that picture, I'm like, there's another lookalike like Matt. Like, how many Matts are out there? And I'm just like, but no, I thought something like he had to get something going to get to that top 5, and he had a good second day. I was waiting for that push, and Tony too. Tony made it the cut on the line.
Tony had
to make it to Saturday, Sunday to like make another push. But I guess we could talk about both of them, but more Brooks because of him making his comeback to the PGA Tour. He always expects to win. He's got that, I'll say that Tiger mentality where he's out there to win every tournament. He does. He still has it.
Basically in 2 years, so
but I don't know. It's just it's definitely a pathetic disappointment for him. I feel better 2027 is coming. But Matt, what are your thoughts on Kep?
Well, I don't want the PGA Tour to catch us on the media rights. So whatever you heard out of Gumby's phone was not was not that. But no, but yeah, he did say he's like no top 10s this year is pathetic, and it's not up to his standards. And I think that was the thing with Live Golf is just not playing every week. So like this got him into it, but he also didn't get to play because, like you said, he wasn't eligible for everything. So I don't think that guy. I think that guy's going to come back next year. Big time motivated. I think that's just him, and to me personally, I thought the penalty was a little harsh, making everybody pay $5 million. Like you pay $5 million and it's pretty stiff, you know what I mean? But I couldn't relate more because like he did say like his putter, right? Like, I don't know if he ever made the official change. I know he was messing around with a different putter, and we all know what that's like when you're searching with putters, and Keith's mailing one back to me this week, I've got a stable of 4 or 5, rotating through those. So it's one of those years. It's a comeback year, it's telling. So, a guy that's got that many majors, he'll be fine.
It was funny because like when Brooks was Brooks, like in that stretch that he put on, that putter did not miss from 5 feet in, like for like years, you know what I mean? And I think that's where he's kind of like, you knew, I remember the Tiger chasing him, and like in that PGA, which led to the Tiger in 2018, which led to Tiger in 2019, right? Yeah. So, and him chasing it, and like being a Tiger fan at that time, still a Tiger fan, I guess, but you just don't get to watch it. Being a Tiger fan, watching that, you're cheering for Brooks, but you're also like, just miss one, right? Like give Tiger that little like prowl back, and he wouldn't. Like Brooks did not miss like at that time, and so that's like what I remember is just like stone cold 8 to 10 feet, like always, and sometimes you get that with Scotty. You're like, he's not going to miss this. Like he needs this to keep the round going. And he does hit it. But you don't get that a lot with others. And so that was kind of what I always remember about Brooks. And so I just think he needs to try and find that and get back to that maybe,
I mean, it's chicken or the egg thing too. I forgot to add, he was chasing equipment too. He switched out of the Strixons, went back a little bit. He was switching the bags. he was looking for questions or answers, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, he didn't win the 2 years on Live either." And I don't count the Live stuff. I don't know. I feel like those guys, the Live was a vacation for a lot of those guys. Like, look at Dustin Johnson. You know what I mean? Like, it was hard for those guys to be motivated, I think. And now he's motivated. And I gotta give him credit. It was very Rory-esque. What I love about Rory too, just like peek behind the curtain, complete honesty, calling himself out. You know what I mean? Making no excuses. So he'll be good. And plus the playoffs is whatever. Who remembers who won the playoffs?
I am, well, the only reason we remember that someone winning the playoffs is because one person did it last year and it's his only win on tour. And yet we still think highly of this person in the golf world. And that's my shot at Tommy. So
we love Tommy. We love Tommy. We don't know what happened to everybody. We don't know who left who. We don't know.
But speaking of Tommy, speaking of Brooks, speaking of fashion, we started, like, we talk a little bit about it, but like, we like Tony and what he's done. And so, we do want to use the show to talk about fashion in the golf world, fashion that we saw from Nike this year, and how we're seeing it. We'll talk about the guys first, then we'll get somewhere else. But what are your guys' like kind of favorites, like this new fashion forward? We've talked about it on the show a bunch, but this new fashion forward kind of movement that we're into in golf. We see, I think, Tommy do I would say the best of it, because I don't think it necessarily fits him all the time, but he's the one that kind of is sticking with it the most. I feel like with these baggier pleated pants and stuff like that. I still feel like we see, and Jason Day being the other one, being with Malbon, right? But I still feel like we see on tour players playing in their traditional golf garb. And then outside the tour, in like the Instagram world and beyond, we're seeing this envelope get pushed more and more. We do see Tony do a good job. I think the Jordan line is fantastic at pushing this blend of sport and fashion. So what are your guys' thoughts on the fashion that we saw this year come out of Nike on the course and off the course, for where you think it's going to go next year and beyond?
That's a whole big question right there. That's a lot.
That's a loaded one.
Yeah, it's loaded. But I feel like right now the golf world, everybody's just trying to find their own niche, and out there the creator world and everything like that. I think everybody's trying to show off their own personality, maybe through this new line of golf clothes. It's not just Nike. Everybody, Nike's trying to tag along in this whole new culture of golf, bring it to everybody kind of thing, which is good. I think everybody should have a chance to play. Everybody should be able to chance to wear what they want to wear on a golf course. I really do. And I guess the whole bagginess and stuff like that, that's just been a comeback the last couple of years too, because you just see it in everyday life. Men, women wearing baggier jeans and stuff now and everything. So it's just, I don't know if we're trying to hide stuff or we're just trying to, have parachutes when the wind is blowing and not get blown away. So I don't know. It's, I think the style of golf is an evolution change the last 2-3 years. And, Nike's trying to, I don't think we're trying to, but I feel like we're there. I feel like we're fitting into this whole new age of golf and getting everybody involved, no matter who you are, young to old. Like there's something, with our 3 lines, I'll get right into the Nike stuff. Like with our 3 lines, I feel like there's something for everybody. 4 lines, actually, if you count the Fairway Fresh stuff, which is kind of covers pretty much, anybody can pull that stuff off. You just have to believe in yourself. Like when I do scripts and stuff, like I believe in myself, like this is something that somebody else would like to wear, or you see these guys on tour kind of thing, and you just get motivated by it. No, it's just something I do all the time, but with the fresh, Fairway Fresh stuff, I have one of the pieces on right now. It's baggy, it's loose, it's comfy though. A lot of this new stuff is comfy, fits, a little bit loose, oversized, but I don't know. Also, I think Nike has a long, long history. Of course, Nike golf, Nike clubs, and everything. My biggest thing was I'm glad that the shield's back, because it makes you think back of when Nike golf just, first started, 97, 98, Tiger came on and everything. And they used the shield logo. And it's a statement. It's a logo that people remember. So I feel like it's bringing the old school with the new school mix kind of thing. So, and I know we'll probably get into a couple pieces that we like and everything, but Gumby, what are your thoughts?
I'll let Matt go on this a little bit, and then I'll kind of rant. rave, whatever.
Oh, a good
I'm
Gumby
always-
rant. I like
I'm
I
always
like a
going to
good
be
Gumby rant.
when it comes to the Nike golf stuff. I love when you guys rant and go back and forth, and I chime in. But I always will be a fan of anything new Nike golf or Nike in general just pushes and tries to get it out. I will always be there. So I'll just throw those 2 cents in.
Yeah. I think we're in year 3 of the baggy movement. I agree with you. I think this is like, not everybody switched over. To Gumby's point. Not all the tour pros are wearing baggy. And, you take a look at our guys, none of them are wearing the super loose fit. They're wearing the slightly loose pants and things like that. But overall, I think we're in a state of flux right now. I think it's one of those transition years. You still got a lot of young guys running around in patterns. Nike's got patterns in the lineup. You got a lot of young guys. I would even actually say I see nobody in the Midwest, and this is just the Midwest, so maybe it's on the coasts. I don't know if you guys seen it. I don't see anybody on any courses doing any of the super baggy stuff. And I will say, that is I will give a credit to guys like Jason Day and Tommy Fleetwood when we had them. Those guys would take risks and wear it on the course. And, I think we're going to talk about Nelly Korda in a little bit, at least what she's doing in Pro-Ams, wearing Nike sportswear stuff. I feel like some of that fairway pressure stuff, maybe Scotty's not the guy to pull it off. Maybe if Brooks was playing better, he'd feel more confident. I don't know if they've offered it to Brooks. Tom Kim could pull it off. Some of the stuff I can see Rory. I can see Rory with the cardigans and stuff. I would love to see Rory take a chance with the cardigans because the cardigans were awesome. I think, to Gumby's point, a lot of guys just don't want to take that chance or step into that conversation versus a Jason Day, he's old, it's his personality almost to a point now, the whole him and Malbon thing. And sometimes I think they do it just to do it. I think this year's Augusta theme was definitely trolling the Masters. It definitely was the whole fake birds thing, playing on it was. But as far as fashion goes, I like it because I think it's very golf specific right now, the super baggy look. It's slightly coming back in office life, everyday life. I think you still see I follow a couple fashion accounts for men's style, off the course, non-golf. And I haven't seen I've seen the looser fit, summer linen pants, kind of full button downs. Those are kind of back a little bit, but not necessarily I don't think golf is following or leading in this example with the super baggy because I'm sorry. And last thing I'm going to say, Gumby, I still remember, what is it, the Buick Invitational or whatever, where Tiger walks the putt in and he points at it and he fights off, then the PGA where he fought off Rich Beam and they got the sleeves down to the middle of their forearms. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. And that's the thing. I think some of these golf brands, I saw somebody else on Instagram and I can't remember the name or I'd give credit. He's like, wait a minute. Some of these golf brands, these newer golf brands are starting with the baggy look, not Melbourne. I'm saying other ones. By people who were born in the 2000s, you weren't around for this, you weren't around. Yeah. And I would say we don't necessarily want it. I don't need triple pleats, silver tip pants or belts, I should say, and the super long sleeves. I don't need it to go that far, but the looser pants have been nice, I will say.
I think the rant I'm going to go on is more, I think, me specific than it is golf specific. But I think there are things that I just don't seem to jive with on that. And fashion is kind of one of them overall. I think when you blend certain pieces into golf, I think it works really well. And that's what I like seeing with Jason Day. And I've talked about this on the show a ton, that fashion doesn't need to be doing something different to do something different. It can be more of how you use the pieces or what the pieces are constructed out of to create different textures and layers on this stuff. In the fashion world, I'm going to go high fashion. It's a lot of layers. I'm a big guy. I hate layers. I'm a one layer kind of guy. In the golf world, in fashion, it's a lot of baggy. Baggy on me doesn't look good because I am bigger, which means then the clothes get bigger and then I become wider than I am. I already look wide. I don't need to be wider, from my own personal standard of how I want to feel good about myself and how I look to others. And so that's the thing where I feel like I have the confidence and I have the acumen to go be fashion forward in things, but I get trapped in a box not made for it. And so I stick to my plain black shirts and backwards hats, and I need a haircut anyways, but because it's not fit for me. If I go buy a shirt on the Fairway Fresh line from Nike right now, the top fits great. It then becomes a cutoff, which is like, it's hard. Like that sucks for someone with a bigger gut. And I'm being like more vulnerable and honest with you guys on this right now. But that is tough for me because I've never gotten the performance feel from our pieces because I wear an undershirt, like a compression shirt underneath it. So I don't know what performance like wicking is. That does nothing for me because I've never been able to like do that because it's never been long enough to tuck in and not come out when I swing, you know? So it's one of those things where I truly love pushing something different in a way that is blending artistic style and textures and all that stuff, because that is creativity. But we don't get to ever do it. I don't actually ever get to do it because it's not built for me. I don't know if it ever will be, but that's my rant. It's just one of those things where like I truly appreciate others trying and doing stuff, and I like seeing it. My segue is, I think Nike and Nike fashion is built more for our women than it is for the men right now. And I think our women, mainly Nelly Korda and others in the space, are taking advantage of it to the fullest. And I think that is fantastic to see. We've seen Nikki Blades out there doing it. We're seeing Shank Haney on Instagram do it and stuff like that. As a teacher, she's a teaching pro in New York City and stuff. And then we see Nelly Korda, our flagship, doing it. And what Nelly is doing in the pro-ams and leading up to a major or anything like that, blending, I wouldn't say fashion, but pop culture in a sense with golf, and where that line is right now, which is very blurred, I think is a fantastic use of the skills of Nike and the athlete coming together. So I want to talk more about Nelly and give her flowers and give the team at Nike their flowers for what they have done with her, because I think that has been really awesome to see. And I wish that would come more into the men's game, because seeing someone like a Tom Kim, a Brooks, even I would love to just see Scotty step out in something different, you know, like just to try it. You know, that won't happen, but like that would be so interesting. So I want to your guys' thoughts, Matt. We'll go back around to you on the Nelly situation, and or not situation, the movement.
I mean, to me, like what Nelly's wearing on Wednesdays is, or I'm sorry, are there pro-ams Wednesdays or Thursday? I always forget.
I think it's Wednesday. Yeah, I think they're still Thursday.
And I don't
Friday.
know why I interrupt a good thought with a stupid question. My bad. But anyway, what Nelly's been doing in pro-ams, I think, is more representative of what like the public course golfer could and should be wearing. You know, and I think the ladies, and you know, our guy Raymond from Scratch has been saying it, you know, the ladies have been killing it fashion wise overall because they're taking more risks. They're trying stuff a little bit differently, you know, and guys, I think unless like it's like kitsch or like a little like kind of tongue in cheek, they're afraid to do it. They really are. And when you think about it, it makes sense. Like the way country club golf is, you know, if you show up in the wrong outfit, people start thinking you're a clown. Private clubs, you know, 200 to 300 members, you know, some guys don't want to get laughed at. They're not necessarily feeling comfortable. But for me, like somebody who lives in Chicago and we have a ton of public course golfs, like I could take these chances, you know, but I'm not going to take the chance until I see like, you know, somebody on tour do it. You know what I mean? Like somebody, you know, probably into Gumby, to your point, like maybe somebody that's like your build or your size takes that chance, right? You know, for a long time, like, yeah, like, oh, these guys are super skinny, super fit. Of course, the 5 pockets, super tight stuff looks good on them. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't for the everyday person. That's where I think like the bagganing, as I would call it, the bagganing of golf has been kind of good because it's kind of more welcoming to styles and stuff like that. But yeah, kudos to what Nelly's doing. And that's why I wish the guys, especially the Nike guys, would take more chances, especially like do it during the pro-ams. Like, you know what I mean? Or like, you know, I don't know if the playoffs probably won't be the time, but like maybe an exhibition or something like that. And, you know, famously, I always remember like when I was at Wilson, these stories about Pete Sampras back in the day, guy would not change anything. Guy wouldn't even change the color of the racket. He was like, no, everything's got to stay the same. So look, these guys are playing for their professional careers and sometimes they don't want to take that risk, but I'd be like, have some fun. It's fashion, bro.
Yeah. And we kind of seen like at the beginning of the year at the PGA show and everything like that. We saw the billboards with Scotty and Tom Kim and Michelle. Michelle, if she was back playing or anything, she could pull off
And,
what
like-
Nellie's doing now as well.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
And
It's
she
cool to
did.
see
She did that week she played, right?
Yep. But Nellie's just killing it, and it's going to continue too. From what we've seen and what we've heard about the women's line for 2027, it's going to be there for Nellie to rock even more. So it's cool to see. Definitely would like to see our guys. I feel it's based on, like you said, Matt, performance. Like if Koepka was playing a little bit better, Tony just rocks anything. And but if Koepka was playing a little bit better, Tom Kim kind of woke up a little bit towards the end of the year with the win. The Genesis before the Open there, which was good. But he's another guy that can pull off, fairway fresh stuff. And I think Gotterup's just our next big guy to have, another breakout year. He's got 3 wins this year already. Heading into the playoffs, I think that's one guy to look out for. But he's also one guy where he could pull off the fairway fresh because he's also wearing the tailored performance stuff as well. So he wears whatever. And the design, the micro printing and stuff, there's good pieces out there. That's why I said we have 4 great lines right now, and it's going to continue into next year as well. And
it's hard too, though. Like when we do try something different, then like the media like gets a hold of it or something like that too, and then like spins it in a negative way. The Nike.
We're so big, though.
I think
Nike's so big, that's.
I know, but I want to give them their props that they did try stuff. The blade collar was not something that we did in the thing, and I think was hugely successful. And would love to see the blade collar come back because I loved like the blade collar because I'd like to see some of those soccer style collars, which I think blend the tradition of like a collared shirt versus an athletic shirt. Come more into like the style of the collars that you're seeing. And then we did the mock neck and everything like that. I remember Nike tried that roll collar. Remember that rolled collar for that one time? Like
the shawl collar.
Yeah. I don't think it was successful, but they tried it. I would love to see them do a little bit more of what the Jordan line's doing and play with some of those fabric textures. I think they did a good job with the materials this year, but a knit line would be very interesting to see as well. And see someone like a Gotterup or a Luke Clanton or someone like that. Some of the young guys like play in this knit. Like even Scotty playing in the knit wouldn't feel weird. It would feel almost like right because it might feel traditional, I don't know.
We can't even get Scotty to switch his white hat to a blue or a black one. So
and I know and I'm like that too, right? Like we've talked 1,000 times on the show. I love white shoes, and I'm very much of that like that thing. I can't look down and see black shoes without it being in a black pant. That's it. So I understand it. But he wore those purple pants. He wore the green pants. I love when he's in those different shades of colors that he does, Yes, Matt. I see you foaming at the mouth. I'm ready.
Hopefully everybody's watching this because there's foam coming out of his mouth right now.
Clip that. That's a clip. That's a clip. Make everybody listen to the podcast. Clip that. Dude, you opened up a can of worms, dude. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going to let you, I got to let you finish, but I got to say, me and Keith saw something at Hampton's house that I think you'll like, but keep going.
No, I was done. I was on under my rant of like, I just think that there's other stuff that they can
way to bring up the Hampton house too, Matt.
Be doing that I think that others are doing in their own space, in Nike's own space, right? Like I would say Jordan's in their own space that like would like to see come into the standard space a little bit more,
and this might fit better like at the year-end show or whatever it is. Like I think overall they took a big jump, Nike did, in terms of like fit and materials for their entry level, for the Velocity, the Par, Victory, I forget what it's called. Whatever the V name is, right? But then there's the Par line. Yeah, I think the tailored line, I'm still, the tailored line, I like the material, especially when it's super hot, but it's not something that I feel super comfortable in. Like I feel really comfortable in the other two. I think Jordan this year has done a phenomenal job at the price point. They're introducing the knits, the patterns. Maybe if Tony was playing a little better, people would notice it a little bit more. I don't think Jordan's getting enough credit for the quality of materials and design that they're using right now because it's so hard to see on TV. But if you are ever in a golf store and you've seen the Jordan stuff, it is really good. Really, really good. And what Keith and I saw at the Hampton House, everybody, so they were previewing, they had live samples of the women's Spring 27 line, but Keith and I did see a catalog, a little mini lookbook that was put together. And the men's stuff, I would say it looks like the men's stuff is going to take another jump forward. From what I'm seeing, and I'm super excited. I don't know that it doesn't look like we're getting knits. It doesn't look like we're getting knits. Also, did anybody notice that Golf Poser got the cashmere sweaters up?
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't know if that's Europe only. Yeah, we got to try and get a hold of those.
Yeah.
I would love some of that stuff because back in the day, those Tiger Woods sweaters were, man, I'd get one every year.
So good. Yeah,
absolutely.
Because they were so good. They were on trend. They were really good. I mean, the sweater now that's available, the stretchy, that's, the poly mix is also very good too.
Yep.
Yes, that's a really good sweater. It's also a really good sweater. But, we've all been like after, even if it's only 5% cashmere or whatever.
Anytime the guys are on TV wearing a cashmere sweater and everything, people want
we
that.
get messages. Yeah, and we get messages.
Like,
when are we going to get that?
Every time.
Yeah. And fun fact, I was talking to the folks, some of the design folks. You only want a certain amount of cashmere because the more cashmere you put in, the harder it is to wash and maintain. Yes. So there is so for some people that might be like, oh, I wish it was, 100%, 80%, whatever percentage you want. You actually kind of don't. So that was super interesting. But Gumby, that's because we didn't recap the Hampton House, which I don't know if we need to this episode. That was one of the cool things. Like we sat down at one point and we looked through that book and I liked a lot of what I saw.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a mix in there, Matt, of a little bit, a little mix of the new Jordan line. And, there could have been a knit in there. I can't remember if there was a knit in there on the Nike Golf size. I think there was. It was so long ago and that whole night was a blur. Well, you can't forget the old boat ride over there, though. We could talk about that real quick.
The boat ride, the cinematic masterpiece of the boat ride, just unbelievable vibes and
hold on, everybody listening out there. This is the way Matt's brain works, and it's the best. It's like I couldn't ask for a third person in this group of us because this idea came out of nowhere. In 5 minutes. 5 minutes. It just came out of nowhere for 5 minutes. We were walking to the Mexican place right for lunch, Matt, and then all of a sudden, we got to make a movie. We got to film with a song and on our voyage over to Long Island. You guys see the rest. It was perfect song, perfect clips. The only thing we're missing was you, Gumby. We know you were there. You were there,
fantastic,
watching our hair blow in the wind and everything. It was unreal.
So when it got released, it was like I immediately watched it. I was like, oh yes, first content of the day. Here we go. I'm ready. I know it. I don't know what's planned, but I know we're just gonna go crazy. And then it was that, and I was just like dying laughing. I was like, I didn't even know Keith smoked. He's just taking a drag of a cigarette. I mean, it's
I've
just
had a couple back in my day.
Yeah, so I think this is why we love what we do and things, because it's silly stuff like this. I mean, we still get chatted up and hit up by Nike people about our speed run at the Nike booth because the execution and the kind of craziness and the one takeness. We do a lot of things in one take. There's not many multiple take ones
so
at
we
all.
got in the budget.
And so the fact on how we do it is actually impressive to people. And so it's just so funny because I know that how I can just see how that was going without even being there by being with these two.
There was
past. So
just
it's fantastic.
One more thing about the Hampton House was awesome and everything like that. Like I said, Gumby, I wish you were there. You were there in spirit. We FaceTimed you and everything like that. But with the video and stuff, I don't know if you remember this, Matt. You and I might have went to go grab a bite to eat, but the guys were all sitting around the fireplace, and what were they watching? They were watching the video of us going on the boat. It was so fun. They loved it. That was the best part. They loved it.
That and you guys making putts with Shooter McGavin at the end was just cherry on top of
guys.
it.
Okay,
with every Nike putter too. Brought the Nike putters.
We almost got a 3-2-1. We almost got a 3-2-1 with Shooter. Everybody. Yeah, it was this close. But it was late in the night. Shooter was tired. Shooter. Good guy, Chris. And actually, I should say Chris because I did talk to him. So I do want to share this. Oh man, should I share this story? Okay, so before I'm trying to talk to Chris. I'm like, hey, you want to get the 3-2-1 with Shooter. But I asked him, I go, I saw a video where you were ambushed in the airport. It looks like this guy, it looks like Shooter is sitting at the bar And this guy just comes walking up to him, like camera over his shoulder. And it's like, blah, 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 blah. What do you think about the news today? Blah, blah. And he like goes right into character. So I asked him, I go, hey, do you like that? Like, are you okay with like people just assuming you're shooter all the time? Or, like, how do you handle that? And he's like, it's just easier just to play along. He's like, but in truth be told, be nice to public figures, guys. That's all I'm going to say.
And they're not always the character that they portrayed on a movie or a TV. They're sometimes very different.
Right. And then he was in the Nike truck trying to hit the little putt through the whole. Like, guys, I cannot imagine. We have Shooter McGavin stories. We didn't even talk a Shooter McGavin story. Jeez, we are slacking. The summer really took over.
I know.
I had anxiety for him. So at the Hampton House. For those of you that didn't see the videos, there was like a back, I don't know, not a garage, not a pool house. I don't even know how to describe it, but Nike built like a legit grass mound and a fake putting green. But then there was also a box truck where you could hit a putt into a very small, like golf ball sized hole to win a prize or win whatever.
It's like what you see in like NHL games where they put like,
you put
or
the puck in
AHL
a
games,
little
they
slit
put the
of a
puck
net.
and like the small slit. And that's what it seemed like.
And I can't imagine. I think we were like the third house he hit that day. We were like the last ones of the day. And I can't imagine after like a full day of like he was on the course, he visited other houses, it's the end of the night, and everybody's just watching him putt and hoping he makes one. Like that's all everybody's filming. Everybody's just filming, hoping you make one putt. You make one putt, we all go home. I'm tired. The dude's tired. I was tired for him. I was like, this poor guy. And then, of course, we had a Nike employee named Jeff, who shall remain nameless, steps right up after Shooter gives up, and he nails the little golf ball sized hole right away. Epic
First
video,
shot.
by the way.
That's
Jeff's got a video for life there. He's pressing Shooter McGavin. Shooter McGavin starts bowing to him. Like, dude, I was like, oh, I kind of want to try now, but I can't do it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, jealousy on my part, but
you didn't miss much.
Nah, didn't miss much. It's okay. You know what? We haven't missed, and we have with us is Nike has dropped some new leatherwork stuff though, and so we would be remiss to not talk about that. And so we got some of the products. We're gonna show it off a little bit. So if you're watching on YouTube or watching on Spotify, you'll see some of this stuff. I'm using the new wallet. We got some new leather bags and everything. But first we have the little magnetic wallet here, which is really cool. And I love the details where the shield is back on these. So as you can see, shield is back on it. Leather quality is great. We have the trifold wallet, and we also have the bifold wallet, which is cool. We also got back, which is my personal favorite, the scorecard holders, back in action. And if you're a scorecard holder, like fiend, like I am, this is like the perfect one, because what happens is that it's wide enough to fit a scorecard in the bottom here. And so then you can actually hold it in on the bottom and then write on it still your score and all that stuff, plus the pencil holder. So sometimes they don't have that, and sometimes they're not wide enough, or have, like, this is a homemade one. This is at the bottom holding something else, and if you have like a book in there, you can't get the scorecard. It just sits on top. This allows you having two spots to put like the scorecard behind it, and then the yardage book behind it, and then the scorecard on top. So well done there, Nike, on the design and the leather. And then lastly, we do have the leather shoe bag as well. This was sent over to us, and we have a couple of these floating around the group. The brown I think is the better leather quality than the black, but I just like the way that I think this is going to patina nice, all that stuff. Top zipper pocket on it, and then an open top pocket that kind of flips around nicely. I have some shoes in here from this weekend, the Masters one from a couple of years ago. Nice. Cool part about this too as well, guys, is the shoe divider in the middle. As you can see, the divider splits the middle, so you can fit both shoes in there. Again,
I do like how the lining is also swoosh lining.
Yes. And the lining is the same in the wallets as well, which is fantastic touch. So you got wallet and you got Nike on the inside and on the out. So Loving these bags. Thank you to Nike and their leather goods supplier for sending those over for us to review and to enjoy. We did do a couple giveaways over the summer, if you were paying attention on some of that. And so we hope that you guys also got to enjoy it as well, but go pick them up. They are now live on NDC on Nike.com, and you can get, I believe, the bag, the wallet, and the scorecard holder. Scorecard holder might not be up there right now, but the Lisa trifold and the bifold are up there at this time, along with some new belt options as well. Also coming, which I want to talk about, is the new Hyper Ice slide coming out that they're doing, which I think is going to be a fantastic recovery shoe. And so that's going to be really cool. So I think some of the stuff is coming really well. Matt's got the belts. I'm going to let him talk about the belts as we do. This is our plug aspect of the show.
I do want to talk about it. And the other thing too, Gumby, just off the record, but on the record, we need to clip the shit out of this episode. There's a lot of good clips here. That was a great clip right there. Yep. We got content for 2 weeks at least. Anybody buying the belts, fun fact, all the newer belts on Nike.com will have the tapered edge, so it's easier to put through the belt loop. So anybody who's had, maybe if you've bought Nike belts from certain retailers, some retailers had the squared and it didn't always fit all the belt loops. This one has the taper, goes in and out super easy. So that's my little thing on the belts.
Yeah. And on the G-Flex ones as well. That's key.
Yeah. I like that the perforated is back on the leather belts too. I love those ones back in the day. And they're still doing a lot of the perforated and double-sided. So you can we got sent some, I got a sent white and black one, and the perforated black one as well. So those are awesome, and they're just really great quality. So I'm loving that Nike has come back, or Nike Golf has come back into that leather game a little bit more strongly this year. So that's cool. Again, Hyper Ice shoes coming out with the slide. I love to see those in person, but those seem like a perfect after round shoe. I would love to get my hands on the Nike Mind still. I like just what Nike's doing with the technology of with the mindset of like recovery, and how recovery is important to an athlete. And so and we all know that as we get older in this game of golf, even if you ride 18 or if you walk 18, your body is sore after the round, or at least mine is. And I've been walking every day now. So that's been a fun journey for me. So excited to kind of see those come out. Price point's not terrible. Didn't feel bad. I think it's around like $275 or something like that. So that would be cool.
It was better than I thought it was going to be.
In September, those new,
September.
Hyper Race slides. So that's exciting. And then let's talk about the open shoes, because we didn't really get the chance to. We did. I did get a pair. I think Matt got a pair. And so cool to see. Very exciting. I'm going to pull mine out so you guys can see them up close. We can talk about them in hand, and then we can kind of rank them, our top 3 of the 3, right? So cool part about the open shoes this year, we're based off the diamonds and the Art Deco pattern from the clubhouse at Royal Birkdale. And I have very strong diamond like turf vibes on these. Like they feel very much like like some of the Dion's and stuff like that, right? You have some of that aspect. And so these, with the diamond pattern, these are the Rory model. So this is the Victory Pro 4s. I think really cool, really sleek with the black and white. For me, you still get the white toe, and then you get all the detailing in the black. And then I think star of the show is this this bottom plate being in this like chromed out thing, especially in the fly plate. And then they have a nice little tongue detail with the diamond on the tongue, which you saw in our reels most recently. So I like these. They're pretty cool. overall, my thoughts, not as much detail as I want in a major shoe. I think like the pattern, the story is really nice, and I think that hits. But we talked about it this year a bunch in these shoes, in these major shoes, that like details make the man. I'm just trying to quote something that I don't think I'm quoting anything. And so like when you get to like the major shoes and you have the patterns or the little things, I think I always go back to the lobsters, and there's so many details on that I just truly love. That's what like does it for me on those. But these were really strong due to their contrast, the black and white. And I'm excited to take them on the course this weekend when we play Turning Stone. So this will be part of my fit this weekend. Matt sent me a nice new black polo, so that will be part of this as well, because I think it will go really nicely.
Nice.
So,
looks like you got your scripting game all together. I got to worry about mine now.
I'm playing with Keith, so I have to be scripted out before he is, So this is the one advantage I have, is that I can be early on it, I guess. So, we have those. We also have the Brooks in that, and we also have the Scotty, so the Victory Tour Forwards, and then the next percent. So your thoughts, guys, on the major shoe this year, or the open shoe this year?
I think this could have been maybe one of the best ones out of the 4 packs, just because I love the colorways. I love the white, black, and you got the diamond, silver in there. So it's just, I think it was a home run for where it was played at Birkdale and everything. It's perfect for what they were. The colorways I love. Gumby, I do agree with you a little bit. We've seen more details with the U.S. Open one, with the Hamptons and the flags and the sand colors, different colorizations and stuff. Masters, you can't go wrong with the double stack this year. And I'm sure we'll rank all these at our end of the year episode and everything, but I'm not going to go too much detail. But I'm a fan of the open shoes that happened this year. I love the colorways. I liked all 3 shoes that they did pick, 2 cleated and the 1 molded bottom as well. So it was kind of a good way to go, because people still love to have those cleats as well. Best one, I'll just say best one, me personally, that I like the best. I've got a lot of the Pro 4s and a couple of the Tour 4s, but I'm a fan of the next percent of this one. I don't know if it's the way that there's more black coming down on the upper that comes down. Usually on the Scotty and the Rory, there's more white of a toe there for them for the eyesight, kind of like what you like, Gumby, the white, seeing the white of your feet and everything. But I think it's just the style of the next percent this year with the new redesign, how they made this look really cool with the diamond print, the diamond print within the black, the silver swoosh, and the whole chrome bottom, which is awesome as well. And you get the Zoom Air in there too, which is awesome. So
I think that one's
my number one.
That one's probably the one that gives me the most like the Dion like vibes, because you do get some of the jagged around like the down the middle laces are. So I think that's kind of where I land as well. It feels more like that to me. Feels more like a football cleat than it does a golf cleat, which I think isn't like a bad look, which I think would be kind of cool to have. So, and players did wear them this year at that one. I think we saw a lot of like players not wear the shoes this year for the majors, which was kind of like slightly disappointing in my eyes. And maybe there was something going on behind the scenes that we didn't know. But they did wear these this year, and that was for the Open, and I thought that was cool. It was nice to kind of see that come back. So, Matt,
I think it was the strongest pack of the year. I do like, you guys know I like black, white with a third color. I don't know if we can call the chrome bottom, but I don't know if you guys saw the photos. There is like a green hue in the black portions. There's a greenish hue in this that I really liked.
The pictures online do not do it justice. They feel very black. When it got out onto the course, we saw that like greenish black kind of come out a lot, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, and I wish that maybe like in the description, or like we had gotten the photos sooner, like maybe we could have called that out. Me personally, I think I like the Pro 4 the best, the Tour 4, and then I'm like at first I think I liked the next percent best, and then I totally flipped. By the way, can we just applaud the fact that we got the shoes of the number 1 and 2 golfer in a pack? It was nice to have the option of 2 spiked shoes between the two. I also like that this design on both of them gave them that like spat I don't know if that's the right term, but like
Yeah.
a spatted feel to it.
Yes.
I know Chris was saying it reminded him of a certain Jordan. I thought it reminded me of 16, like with the veil and stuff like that. And something that I've been asking for on the Pro 4. The Pro 4 with that solid upper just seems so plain and rounded and lumpy a little bit sometimes, that the diamonds and the edging really bring that shoe to life. And I love golfing in the Pro 4, by the way. It's interesting. I like the ride of the Pro, but the Tour I like looking down at better. Like I really like looking down at the Tour because it has more of that structured, classier shoe look to it. But
I've ended up with more tours.
I still have to play in the Pegasus this year. I still got to get a Pegasus, guys. I'm slacking.
I don't have a Peg either. And that brings me to the next point. I think that this would have lended itself very well to the Peg this year due to the way that Peg has that like insole sort of vibe. We saw it like where it gets the fill on a lot of the shoes. I think that would have been really fun to see with this black pattern in it because it already has that sort of geometric shape. And so that's like a bummer because I think it's so strong with like the testing one is so strong for that Peg that it would have been really cool to see. But we did get it in the double stack. We got the Peg and lost and found. Yeah. US Open, right? So that's cool. So at least we got 2 out of the 4, which just tends to happen with one or the other. So I've ended up with a lot more Tour 4s this year than I expected, and I've been wearing them a lot, and they've been actually quite comfortable. So I still think I lean Scotty like more, but I'm like going to a nice club like that, like we're going to a nice course Sunday, right? We're playing a really hard course, playing a top, course, one of the top courses in New York State, stuff like that. Like I am looking forward to taking the paper out in the clubhouse, putting these on for the first time, and then walking out into the course because I think that's going to feel nice. I'm also taking the tags off of that new polo in the clubhouse. I'm not doing it beforehand, so it's going to be the whole experience.
I love it.
I already prepped Keith on the game plan for the content that I am making. I haven't been a big content guy this year. I've really tried to just get back into the game of stuff and so I've been focused on that, and I'm excited to like do a little bit more content. It was to get towards like the tournaments, which is a little bit like more relaxed, and like this weekend when I'm with someone who I know can film where some of my buddies just can't. So I'm looking forward to that because I think we're gonna make some cool content on Sunday, which will be cool. We're the first ones out, so we will literally
you guys get to back everybody up by making content.
We'll be dew sweeping. Shout out dew sweeping on us on Sunday morning, so I'm excited about that. So but yeah, I think I fit. I think next percent 1 for me. I just think it's like such a cool look, and then Tour 4 and then Pro 4 is my ranking. So that's awesome. That's
I give the whole pack a 5-0 though. I don't know if I said it. I would argue, I think the lack of detail, actually, it's not too noisy. It's a clean, that's Art Deco. It's clean. It's just straight lines.
It's clean. It's a major pack. It's one of our energy packs. It's not it's not one of our simple colorways and stuff. It definitely stands out, especially if you flip it over. You flip it over, see the bottom, you're like, holy, that's one of the touching points.
I do feel that's true. That's true. So I think that manages the balance. It's like, how do you want to mix it up with the story you're trying to tell versus the, and the details or not details and all that stuff. So it still tells the right story, which is good. I think we saw a lot of good fits of the year. I think we're going to save that. We're going to do that in this show. I don't want to push it too much. We'll save that for a year-end show. We will try and do another show in between, playoff push, football, whatever. We'll see where it kind of comes in.
Oh, I like a football episode.
So that will be good. But this has been fun to kind of get back to it. I want to go one last rant. Football just jogged my memory. Nike, you're listening. Get your website back together. You got it working again. That was good because it didn't work for a little bit. But now it's kind of broken again because I don't necessarily I don't know if others do, want to be serviced college football, like apparel, like polos and stuff on the Nike golf stuff. I'm just getting like bombarded with other stuff that I'm not looking for on when I go to the
I
golf
want you to
page.
put that in the cart, okay?
That was my complaint. That was my complaint about Dick's. When you go looking around at Dick's Sporting Goods, it's the same thing. All the NCAA polos pop up. And it's like, I get it. Guys golf
I don't know
and
whether
they want to wear their alma
tagging,
mater, but
I feel like they're just tagging something and it's just saying it's like a golf polo, and that's getting thrown into the golf land, and it's not the golf line, right? Like keep golf and keep that in the fan line. That's what they're there for. So that's pet peeve of mine right now that is bugging the heck out of me when I try and go look at stuff online. There is extra 25% off right now too on NBC. So if you do the code, what is the code?
Day one.
Day one.
Thank you. It was at the top and then it disappeared.
A couple days left, I think.
So yeah, a couple days left, 25%. Plus there's other stuff that's is 25% off. Cart applied. I'm thinking about picking up some Air Max 95s, maybe some other stuff. I'm not sure yet. And those are a little bit marked down. So that's kind of nice as well. So
you get the tartan jacket.
Yeah.
Tartan jacket's marked down. And this not marked down, but the Birds of Play shirt just came in.
Yeah.
Yes. Birds of Play. I'm excited to see where that comes in.
It is. I like
if the polo will come in.
That's awesome, actually.
Yeah. Now, see, that doesn't feel like trolling.
Light
that just
brown.
feels like
That's a light Orwood brown, the white one. That's pretty sharp.
I have liked that they've played with their
Everybody
colors
go check
a
it
little
out.
bit
You
more.
see what we're talking about. We're showing pictures of it right now.
Yeah. They've played with their colors a lot more this year. I'm excited to see next year. You guys got the sneak peek look, so I'll have to pick your brains on that. There's like a little bit of hat. I don't know if you guys saw that the tartan hat came out as well. Didn't know that existed. So that's cool. So if you like the tartan in the blue,
I got one of them on right now.
You can get the tartan hat.
Yeah,
that hat.
I got to get that.
So, and then I like the color on color hats with the shield, also. And so a couple of other pieces as we wrap up sort of our fashion episode. But it was more of just a catch up episode too, which was really lovely and nice to chat and talk to you guys again, as always. Hit us up with what you guys want to hear and see and listen to, because we are here for you guys. I'm intrigued to see how these playoffs go for them, but I'm also excited about football season starting up. So, and President's Cup should have a couple Nike guys in it as well, which will be good. TK, I think, playing on the one side. We'll have Scotty and maybe Goddard in it. Hoping Goddard should be on that team.
Yeah, seventh right now. He's not automatic, which I don't get. He's won 3 times this year.
So that's wild.
It is.
So I think we'll have good representation with the Nike side. I always like when we have that and whatnot. I'm not sure how I feel about this Be Ratty, whatever it is, being the official supplier. It's very traditional, simple, and I'm sure people are gonna love that. I'm not sure that I do.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's all right. So, and then let's just follow us on Instagram at the Swoosh Life Podcast. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Last words, Jonathan. I'm gonna take the last word, if you don't mind, to plug something I think is really important. So, Keith, Matt, go for it.
Gumby,
guys,
go for it, Matt.
Yeah. No, guys, man, it's the summer. I haven't been golfing all that much this summer, so I can't wait to see what you guys pull off on the course on Sunday. It's raining over here. I'm telling you guys, I felt lost at the golf. I'm telling you, like, didn't start the year off right, and then it's like I get a good round in, and I think it's so much like my basketball career. Like, I'll have a hot day, and I think I'm never gonna miss a 3-pointer again, and then the next week, like I can't even hit the rim. It's been one of those summers for me too. So I relate with Brooks, but I'm glad that we could get back on the train and still talk golf and talk fits and shoes. And that's always just as fun as the scorecard at the end. In fact, more fun for me. So I appreciate that. Do want to say a shout out. And this is going to be slightly related to what Gumby's going to talk about, but shout out to my guy, Chris. My buddy, Chris, got head cancer last year, pulled it out of his back, and he's learning to walk, and we got him putting and chipping 2 weeks ago.
Awesome.
So
That's
Chris
fantastic.
is putting and chipping, man. And
That's great.
we're gonna have our guys tournament probably at the end of the year. He's probably not gonna be ready for that, but he was never ready to begin with. So I was gonna dominate him regardless. Either way, I cannot wait to beat a cancer survivor next year, also at our buddies tournament. So, Keith, how about you, man?
PGA playoffs are coming up, but there's still a lot of golf for all of us to play. We got the whole rest of the summer. We got a whole another month and a half, and then we have fall golf, which is even more beautiful to play in. But can't wait for Sunday. I don't have any shout outs, but just Gumby, don't take my locker number 17 at Turning Stone if you get there before me, because I'll be very, very upset.
Do it.
The only thing I was going to do is like ice you or something, at like 5 a.m. when we're getting there. So like,
we might be coming to you live at like 6 a.m. in the morning for a quick Gumby walk to the clubhouse.
Stay tuned for that. Gumby's walks and thoughts if you're gonna watching. But my thing's a little bit more serious, so we'll take this down a little bit. But I am playing in a tournament and helping organize and do the graphics for the Mighty Max Classic coming up on August 23rd here locally in Syracuse, New York. My buddy Zach and his son, they're something that I've never seen before or wished upon anyone. Max was born with cancer, which is extremely rare. He fought, beat it. They came to our master's party this year, got to see the little dude, and just like the first time they got to socialize him, because they were, he was just super sick for a long time, which I felt incredibly honored by, that they came to our party. About 2 weeks later, before his first birthday, they found 3 more tumors in his brain. And so he is going through that right now. So we're all here fighting, supporting Max as best we can. And so the Mighty Max Classic is coming on the 23rd, and it's a big celebration in what Max means to everyone. So some big donors have stepped up and some big people have stepped up, and so pretty cool to see the community rally around him, and from local businesses to ice creams and coffee places. So you'll see a lot of content from me that day. I've helped out a lot with it. I'm really proud to do that work for them for free, because that's how I can give back to them and everything. So I appreciate them even coming to me to help out with that. I'm excited to play in that tournament. There might be some Syracuse basketball players there and some others, but really excited about that. So stay tuned for that. But also, if you want to do anything to help support that, they are on Instagram at the Mighty Max Golf Classic, and you can reach out to me and whatnot to help support them. There was a GoFundMe and everything as well. So love to see the community rallying around, but our thoughts are with Max as he goes through this as a I think he's a 15-month-old child still, which is just incredibly ridiculous. So, but thank you all for listening today. We really appreciate it. This was fun to get back into it. We will come back soon. I promise. You can't get rid of us. This is episode 94. We will hit 100, and maybe, just maybe, this is leading up to a big 100 blowout special around the time of April something, so we'll see. But that will be pretty awesome. So for the Swoosh Life podcast, that's been Matt, Keith, Gumby. We'll see you in the next one. Bye. If you enjoyed today's episode, go follow us at the Swoosh Life Podcast on Instagram, where we have a lot more content. Watch us on YouTube at the Swoosh Life Podcast. Subscribe, like, and leave a comment, and make sure you keep listening to us on all the places that you can find your podcast: Apple, Spotify, and more. We'll see you in the next one. This has been the Swoosh Life Podcast.
Check the silver stripes, yeah, that's what I like. Yeah. That's what we like. Yeah.